Well, welcome to the Should Run with Gas podcast. We are on location.
On location.
Yeah.
A very cool location, too.
As always, I'm Chase. This is Kyle.
Hello.
We're at the Moore Farm, I guess you could call it. Country Crossroads.
Education of Yesterday.
Country Crossroads Education Yesteryear show. It's religiously the third weekend in October. And this show's too cool not to talk about it.
This is an awesome show.
This is Kyle's
my first time being here.
This first time
this
here.
This is amazing.
You know, we have Kendra and Jeff here with us. They're part of the family that started this. And we're just going to be here talking about the show and its legacy and how it started. And kind of like that.
Yeah.
So you want to give us kind of, if you can remember how it started?
First, where are we at? In Dresden, Ohio?
Yeah, we're in Dresden, Ohio.
There we go. Dresden, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Dresden, Ohio.
Off of Route, what is this?
Route 60 and 16.
60 and 16.
Known as Country Crossroads.
There we go.
And like I said, third weekend of October every year.
Yes.
Whatever the dates are for that, it's just always the third weekend. Mm-hmm. And I've been coming to this show I was like 4 years old. So
Wow.
it was up at the
Nethers farm.
yeah up
One
the
up
old
across
up at the Nethers
highway.
farm.
The old steam and gas club.
Yeah, the old Steam and Gas Club. They kind of dwindled away to nothing after they left here. We went to Adamsville, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Now you know where we're at, and I'm going to do a YouTube video on my channel showing the place and what this place has to offer.
Oh, nice.
Cast Iron Curiosities YouTube channel. Plugged it for you.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, there's a railroad here. You have where kids can get on equipment, and I can't imagine how many kids have interest to actually do that. Maybe take a career path in life and have that opportunity to do it here. And it's like $1 a ticket or something like that to go do it.
Yeah, we do charge $1 a ticket for the train ride. James the train around the Cracker Jack Railroad that Dad built. He went to Baraboo, Wisconsin, and found the trains and the track and took it up and even brought back the railroad ties.
What kind of train is that? Is that a Plymouth or a Brookville?
Yeah, it's a Plymouth.
Is it a Plymouth? Okay.
Yes.
Made up in Plymouth, Ohio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same place that made the Silver King tractors, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a few of them here. We've got, yes.
The Plymouth locomotive, the track and the engines, everything come from the old ammunition, the government ammunition plant in
Really?
Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Well, see,
Okay.
I got two Plymouth locomotives that were U.S. Army, so maybe it was the same situation.
Could be.
Yeah.
They had a big auction there and sold everything.
Absolutely.
You had to physically remove the track and
Right.
if you wanted the ties. So I don't know how many semi-loads in Coshocton, the trucking company before.
Was it Coshocton?
Well, it could be Coshocton Trucking, but I can't think of his name that we sold tractors to. Anyway, they hold semi-loads of
Right.
ties and tracks.
It's almost a mile long out here, isn't it? I mean, it's a pretty
Yeah,
good
it's
sized loop.
right at a mile or so.
Yeah.
So Dad and a hired hand and maybe two guys, I don't know, they spent a few weeks up there
Yeah,
off and on.
they did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then he brought him back here and laid it out, and now we have a full-size train. And
Right.
and
Well, I
ride it.
can remember when it was up at the other location that he wanted to do a railroad up there.
Yeah, they always wanted, Dad
And,
always loved trains.
Yeah, he wanted to do one up there, and I remember on the old right of way.
Right, it's where the old right-of-way.
Where the right of way
right up
was,
through
all
here.
the ties and stuff that were stacked back there when
Yeah.
he started hauling everything in, which I mean that was years and years ago. I was a little kid then, but yeah, I mean it created just a little wonderland here. So the railroad came from Baraboo, Wisconsin, and you say it was an ammunition?
Yeah, the old government, I forget the name, the plant name, but it's the government, U.S. government
Yeah.
ammunition plant in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So what year would this have been then?
I'd have to look that up.
It'd been late '90s, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 98, 99.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then the mill, which was from Dresden.
Which we're sitting in right now. This is totally awesome.
So what? 3 stories?
3 stories.
Yes.
3-story mill. The first story is
Plus
just
a basement, basically.
the first story is just kind of full of knick-knack things, large knickknacks, you could say.
Yeah.
And then you got the toy room, up on the second floor, as you could call it, which I'm sure every kid loves.
Yes.
And then you got the third floor, and you got a tractor hanging up there, don't you?
Yes,
Now
I
it's
do.
Chalmers, because
Now, how did you get that up there? Carry piece by piece up the stairs, or
You see the ups.
Okay,
window
yeah.
coming out that steel beam.
yeah?
And we had a big winch fastened to the floor.
Okay.
And cable down and pulled it up in pieces. Then we used that same winch to hoist it up in the ceiling. Then he made the fasteners. Yeah,
This is amazing.
Yeah, I wasn't there when he did
That was a
that.
job.
And it's like,
That-
I'm
that-
glad. And one way I wish I was, but
Yeah.
I missed that for some
Yeah,
reason.
that was a project. I don't know. We probably
Yeah.
spent a month.
But yeah, it is a sight to see a tractor hanging from the ceiling.
The story of
So-
that tractor is Dad sold that tractor brand new to Warren Mears in Hanover.
Okay.
And at his auction, we got it back. I don't know, 2000. But anyway,
Right.
one owner WD-45 and had a 4-bottom mounted plow sitting behind it, sitting out here on display.
Right.
And one morning, it's all complete one morning.
That's all that was
evening.
left.
And we come by the next morning, and whoever, they stripped it. They took the engine sheet metal
Oh, my.
Wow.
transmission. This left us. This
that
did you
frame.
see it?
Yeah.
And the plow behind it. Everything else they took,
Really?
stole. So really PO'd Dad. So then he got in the
Right.
mood and he sold off a few tractors that we shouldn't have. But yeah, just
So was he like an Alice Chalmers dealer then? Because
Yeah,
there's a
we-
lot of Alice stuff around here.
yeah.
Well, I guess let's talk about Kenny and how he started. You know, they had Moore's Equipment just up the road.
Yeah, originally it was Moore's Farm Supply.
Moore's Farm
Turnaway High
Supply.
in
Did he
19
start it, or
Yeah.
okay?
Dad, Kenny, our dad,
Yeah.
and Uncle Gene started the AC business in 1955 in Trinway.
Okay.
It was over there for a few years where we bought the property on Old 16 there.
Didn't it
where
start
the-
though? I thought there was
Moore's
something
Equipment.
crazy spur.
Well, that's the Massey.
Oh, that was the
We'll talk about that too.
Sorry.
He had a Massey dealer too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He was mainly Massey then.
Okay.
70s. But AC, Dad started, him and Uncle Gene, 1955. They come down here. Originally, he grew up in Kilbuck.
Okay.
And he worked for the John Deere dealer in Kilbuck, Ohio, Kinsey Equipment. But Grandpa always had started out with the Rumley tractor. He did custom thrashing, and then he had AC tractors on the farm. So Dad grew up with it. And, anyway, they moved down here in 1955.
Right.
So we moved over to the newer building, then they built on 16 then, which is the Dresden address.
Yeah.
And we sold Alice Chalmers up until 71. And my Uncle Marlin, well, and Dad too, Dad was part of it. We put it in Marlin's name. We had the Massey dealership start in Fraserburg there in 70. So we had Massey and AC for a couple years together, and then we just dropped AC. And
Where was the Massey dealer in Frazersburg at?
the old
Old Falls Pizza.
yeah,
is
Oh, okay.
pizza
Yeah, that
place,
building.
farm
I didn't know that.
building on the end, that block building there on the right side. Powers Equipment,
Okay.
who we basically bought out.
Yeah.
See, Blocks at that time didn't want us to have Massey at
Yeah.
Dresden, so after
too
we
close
got
to
to
them.
selling volume, we just moved back. Or moved.
Yeah.
We didn't even. Okay, we just moved. But Dad was that way. He said, "Heck with it, we're moving."
Well, it's weird, me growing up in a little kid in the early 90s, Graham's had their dealership, and then you guys, and I didn't know about the one in Fraserburg, even though I more or less grew up there, but yeah, it's how the time has changed, where none of that stuff exists anymore, and the only thing that's around here is Ag Pro, the John Deere dealer. You can go up to Bakersville for New Holland
Yeah,
stuff. But
Bakersfield's the only independent dealer
Yeah.
that's basically around.
yeah.
Well, you're also taking a lot of small mom and pop farms nowadays. Like you had small mom and pop farms, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, late 80s. They started,
Right.
big farms started swallowing and everything up, and then
all the little mom
and now you got basically
farms are
factory
no longer
farms.
here, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's a shame in one sense.
It kind of is, yes.
Because
Yeah.
those numbers. You had large numbers,
Right.
and they bought all kinds of different products.
Yeah.
A man could raise a family on 100
Right.
acres, back then, but now 100 acres is just
That's
a blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's nothing. Yeah, that's
for
nothing.
Sure.
So he had the dealership, and then I guess what gave him the idea to start having a show? Did it always start at the Nethers, or was that something the Old Steam and Gas Club approached him about? Or
Dad always he always liked talking to kids and educating them. He always liked showing them things or
Yeah.
how to do things with the machinery
He's
or
just-
explaining things to them.
Right.
I don't know, I remember, he's always out in all his equipment up and down the road. And I think it was really before the highway cut our land off, because we own on both sides
Yeah.
of the 4-lane highway. But I remember he was along the road doing something, and a man stopped with his grandson and was talking to him. And he asked, his grandson was just like amazed by all the equipment and everything,
Right.
whatever he was doing. And I don't know why Dad asked him, well, do you know where your food comes from? And, where your breakfast cereal and your milk, where's that come from? And he says, well, Mom just goes to the grocery store. And,
Right.
and he says, well, no, there's more to that. But this little kid did not know that. He
Right.
didn't know nothing about farming or anything. So that gave Dad the idea of he's going to educate the children of today about yesterday.
And there is a
So,
lot of kids here.
Yes, there is.
Holy
Oh my
cow, there
gosh.
is a bunch of kids here.
I know. I wish I could count everybody.
that was a question I was going to ask. Do you know what sort of turnout you have?
No, I do not. I've been on. My brothers and sisters say, "Hey, somebody's just going to have to go count," but we don't have time for that.
But, yeah, it's just,
I don't know how you
has a
could.
clicker.
I don't know how you could.
And it's like, okay, now mark down how many cars and click that many people.
No,
Well, I don't
no.
know. And I says, well, just guess.
maybe if
It's
we
like,
get
you
video
see a kid,
cameras
you
and
get
put down
that.
there at the entrance, see how many people's in a car.
You could
maybe.
sit around for 4 days and count everybody coming
yeah,
in.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
But there's a lot of
is.
stuff going on here.
Oh,
I mean, not only
gosh.
you have the training we talked about,
Yeah.
you got a construction zone out there, you got antique gas engines, you got tractors, you got
We've even got pulling tractors. So
Yeah,
and it's an antique tractor, but they made it
Right.
into a pulling tractor. So
Yeah,
we
for-
just got everything.
For people that grew up in the 80s, 90s and watched tractor pulling, Shotgun Red's here.
Yeah.
And
Famous
yeah,
tractor. And all,
yeah, it's
all
it's
over
a-
the U.S.
that is a famous winning tractor,
Yeah,
and it's
so-
awesome to have it here.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
glad Wilkins brought it
Yeah,
down. So.
Yeah,
that they
me too.
did that for us.
Yeah,
we
it's-
appreciate everybody.
I
just
pulled in
amazing.
yesterday and they was unloading off the trailer, and
Oh.
I haven't seen it. I used to run around with Justin, his boy, when Justin was truck pulling, and John was still running the tractor some. And I remember hanging out with them guys, and I haven't seen the thing run in years. And they
I
fired.
wish we had the dollars to buy Charlie Ross's old tractor. It's for sale again, and
Yeah,
it's up northwestern Ohio. And I'd love to have it, but that'd be a lot of history with those two tractors.
oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely,
absolutely, yeah.
absolutely.
Who handle engineering. But anyway, get back on track with the show.
Yeah.
We've got the reason we wanted to show in October. Dad wanted to show in October was for the harvest.
right.
Yes.
Yeah,
So September, sometimes the crops normally isn't ready in September.
yeah,
The old Steam and Gas Club always had their show like in September. But to have crops and be able to pick corn
Yeah.
or beans, well, we had to be October. And then with the Coshocton County Fair being the first
Yeah, the
week
beginning
of
of October.
Yeah.
Right.
Lancaster Fair, well, he decided on the third weekend.
it
And
works
that's
out.
Stuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's stuck.
Yeah.
Some
We get people to say, "Oh, change the date, but gosh, there's just so much going on. I couldn't even pick a different date, but
Yeah.
that's what he wanted, and we're still continuing.
Well, I mean,
So, yeah,
the turnout
yeah.
Oh
Out
yeah.
there
tells for
today.
itself.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
A little
worried
bit,
about the rain
yeah.
yesterday. I mean, unfortunately, we can't get in the fields today. And,
Well, we're
you
going to
know,
try to pick some corn after a
Corn,
bit. We'll
Yeah.
not be doing any beans, but we're going to try to use
Yeah.
the corn
Yeah.
pickers here after a bit.
And that's when it was up at the other up at Nethers. I can remember taking Dad's Farmall Cub in the back fields, and it had a single bottom plow
Yeah.
behind it. I would spend all day on that thing, just going back and making furrow after furrow and
Yeah.
furrow. I mean, just from as long as I could. I ran the thing out of
Yeah.
gas once, and Dad had to bring gas out to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was, like I said, I was a little kid, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've
we got the
some
guys that
plows
don't plowing across
plowing
the creek.
across,
Yeah.
so,
Then
yeah.
when we get the corn off, normally they'll mow it off and then they'll start plowing
Start
it.
plowing, yeah.
Wow.
So
Well,
we
and that's-
do a
you-
little bit of everything.
You don't go to many shows where
No, you don't have working.
have working shows.
Right. That's
You know,
Showing them how stuff's done.
yeah, how
Yeah.
you can, you can go to a show and everybody's just got stuff sitting around. It's like
Yeah.
like when you go to a car show. You're just walking around looking at cars. When you
Yeah.
come here, there's something going on everywhere.
Yeah,
And I thought you turned that off.
I did. I swear I did.
that's all right.
Now it's vibrating.
I know him.
But yeah, the shows, other shows, that's the way you look out there in our lot and you don't see everything lined up or stacked
Right.
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
We just let people arrange it. We like to have stuff.
Yeah.
You got to have activities
Not all-
going on
not
in all
meat
areas.
grows.
Yeah.
We got stuff, displayed different in
Yeah,
other shows.
it's I mean,
Yeah, you
out
wherever,
and about. And,
Yeah, wherever you walk at, you see.
Yeah.
You don't have just a dedicated section for everything. It's,
Right.
Well, no, because there's gas engines over here, there's gas engines over there,
Yeah.
there's tractors up here, there's tractors clear back there.
It's just all over.
It's just an awesome layout. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no rhyme or reason to it at all, but it's great. I think. I mean,
oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That's what we wanted. So,
I am really impressed.
Yeah, like you said, this is his first time here, and I told him that he needed to come and kind of showed him. He came up, I don't know, probably 2-3 months ago.
Right.
And we did.
I called and I said, Chase, I said, what's all this stuff on the side of the road? I said, what's going on here? I said, this is awesome stuff. He says, well, they have, the educational show here in October. And I said, I'll be at Cool Spring, Pennsylvania. He goes, we leave Cool Spring Friday to come here on Saturday. I said, you know what? That's a great plan.
Yeah.
And it poured the rain out there yesterday all day. My shirt is still soaked. But we left this morning from the motel and got here, I don't know, about 11 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of kicking around ever since. And it's amazing to me what's going on here. I'm kind of beside myself, really.
A lot of work,
Well, I understand. Oh, it is definitely a lot of work.
especially
yes.
with all the sisters and family helping
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the decorations, besides us boys
yeah.
and other members getting all the machinery ready.
Right.
Yeah. Let's just say there's
Now, do you
6
guys
kids.
own a lot of the equipment that's here? I mean, do you store it here on site or?
It's stored in various buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's member stuff. The construction
Yeah.
stuff's mostly Skurlock
Skurlocks.
out there, and then there's Don Martin's got a big dozer. But there's other people that brings in.
Yeah, if it
Absolutely.
wasn't for all the
Brings in
other
the stuff.
participants
Yeah.
bringing in their stuff, it wouldn't be a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
we
gotta
have a
have-
lot, but it's grown, and I appreciate all of them come out.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
They're spending their time and money, and they're making it. You
Right.
know, so yeah.
Yeah, they're helping us promote the show.
Yes.
And, we got individuals out there with their tractors and
Doing
doing the plow, and
demonstrations
We've got a
and-
few out there with the different corn pickers.
Well, and you got, like you said, you got Skurlock here, and
Right.
he dropped the construction zone, as you could
Yes.
call it, or probably today is deconstruction, because he's probably running the pan back and forth for 12 hours.
Today's the deconstruction. Tomorrow they'll put it back.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
right,
leading
yeah.
up to. He got a dozer, a big dozer, and a pan, and whatever else is out there.
And the loaders.
Yeah, and the loaders and all that, and they drop that about 5 foot or so.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, like you said, tomorrow we'll bring it all back up, and normally you can.
How much that dirt's been moved from end to end.
Oh, I know. Every year it goes down 5 foot or more, and it comes back up, but you can stand there right there and watch it.
Watch it,
and
yeah.
you can watch it on TV, but it's a whole different
It's
animal
different,
to
yeah.
see it in person and
Entirely
hear it.
different feeling
And I
when
think the
you're hearing it.
kids, hopefully maybe that will get some of them into construction.
Yeah.
Well, there's a digger out there too.
Yes,
Kids
yeah,
can
that's
get
what I
on.
was just going to say.
Yeah,
The little digger,
kids
the
digger
kids can
run
get
all
on
day
there
long.
and
It
run.
wears you out. Normally that's what
Yeah.
I do, but I had a heart attack in September, so I got a stent and I can't lift the kids.
Oh.
I love
Yeah,
showing
he
the
would be
kids.
out there all day long.
They wear me out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so.
But it's amazing,
great.
the young kids, how quick they pick up the levers.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Their coordination is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a little kid, it took me a little while to run a hoe or that. But these
Yeah,
kids
not
get
now.
on there and show them, help them a little with the levers, and then eventually, before they get off of it, they're doing it by themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
They love
Yeah.
it.
And I'm sure you see the same kid over and over and over again. there,
Yes.
So, yeah, our regulars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done this. I'll just sit there.
Yeah.
watching.
Here, I'll help you up on here, and just like,
Yeah,
go to
there
town.
You go to
Yeah.
town. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'd like to
It's
think,
great.
talking about the kids and your dad's idea
The main thing, the kids. Hopefully
Yeah.
we can get them
and I would like to think that I'm a product of that because
Yes.
of coming to the show so early that with Grandpa and Dad and Francis Shaw, we was always there, and that's
France has always helped us anytime we could.
and being there with them, and that's what got me into it, and I just happened to stick with it. Me and Dad
Yes.
stuck with it, and I mean, obviously it's turned into doing
Yes,
a podcast and
great. I
having a
know. I
YouTube
appreciate
channel.
it.
And,
Yeah, so am I.
Well, Chase and I are trying to do the same thing you guys are doing.
Yeah.
We're trying to promote the historical value of equipment, the historical aspect of things, and try to get some of the younger generation brought into things.
Right.
Yeah.
Because,
When we're
It's
gone,
there.
when we're gone, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got a kid. He came up to me last night and he said, "I brought my tractor," and he's probably 10, and it's the first year he got to bring his own tractor.
Yeah. Right.
So that's great. I do every year. It is for the kids, and I do want to get them interested so they can.
Absolutely.
And so it's a challenge, but we're trying. So when he
You're
came in
doing
and
a
told
damn
me
good
that,
job at it, I
it's,
think.
it's just like I was so I was surprised, but he loves it, and he finally his mom
Right.
and dad finally let
Yeah.
him get it and bring it, and so I'm really pleased and happy that it is working. So so that's all that matters.
and we try to even give little garden tractors or an older tractor
Yeah.
away to a younger individual.
Absolutely.
If his father or grandfather can help him restore it,
Yeah.
we'll give
Yeah.
it to him,
Mm-hmm.
let him work on it, and then just ask him to bring it back to the show sometime.
Yeah. So if
Well,
anybody's out there
So
listening,
we've got some
yes,
pieces
we've
right
got
now. If there's a
pieces.
youngster needing
Yeah.
a garden tractor or a couple farm tractors, we got a couple we donate to you.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, me and him, where most of the high schools don't have a industrial arts
Yeah,
class,
we need that back.
or even around here we still have an agriculture program, but they're not
Yeah,
like
they're-
what they were
It's not like
when I grew
Not
up,
like
and
when I
definitely
was
not
in
and
school.
definitely not like when you were in school. And it's that you don't get that experience anymore. You can't go to school and anymore the way that I'm not going to knock on parents, but the way parenting is anymore, it's go get on the computer. I mean, how many times do you go
Giving this
out?
gadget to babysit.
Yeah, how many times do you go out and eat dinner and
they're all-
just and then you're like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, no
Sad.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sitting there on their phone just like I am
Yeah,
right
like
now.
you
I'm
are.
texting my wife like, "Hey,
so
we gotta get Bo over here to this thing." My boy, he's almost 3. He would freak out
he
over this
would love
stuff.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Wanted
why
to get
I'm sitting
him
here
out
talking to
and
her
about.
like we need, she's like, well, maybe next year we bring the camper up. So, well, maybe we bring the camper, generator, a couple of gas engines back in the
Yeah.
truck or whatever. I'm sure that no big deal.
No.
And I really think he would flip shit over this.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I like to see the kids, their eyes, and and then I walked earlier, just walking away, and the little kid says, "Daddy, this is awesome," and I just, it really
At
got
the end
me.
of the
It's
day,
just like, wow.
No matter how tired you are,
Yeah.
no matter what hell you've gone through to get to where you're at, that comment right there makes it
Yes,
all worth it.
It
All
did.
worthwhile.
You're- It's just
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
mission accomplished.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
very true. So,
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel because I was here last year, set up on the other side in the center, and a guy had his 2 sons, and you shouldn't judge by looks, but I kind of was looking, and they were over there staring at one of my engines running, and I'm like, oh, they're just with their dad, and he drug them here. And turned out, no, they were absolutely interested in what was going on, and the
Yeah.
father came over and wanted me to explain it to their kids, or to his kids, how this thing worked. And so I got up and I showed him, and I'm like, okay, well, that was a one-time thing. Well,
Yeah.
the kids came back on their own, and they had come up as they was walking around and thinking about what I had told them. They come back to ask more questions, to learn more. I'm like, this is
Great.
this is great.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes,
What
for
we're-
sure.
So
What we need.
yeah.
Yes.
And I had just started my YouTube channel then, and the engine that was running just happened to be one that I had restored and put onto the YouTube channel. So them being 10 years old, I'm like, hey, get on YouTube. This is my channel. Watch the video because it shows me tearing the whole thing apart and how this thing works.
Oh, great.
And
yes.
the dad came back and he asked for it. And I'm assuming they went home and watched it.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
But because
yeah, it
I mean,
does
if you
work
if
good.
you don't, a lot of people don't have the means either to do this, to have storage to store a tractor, to have an engine, or just have the cash lying around to have something like this, and plus to restore it just in general.
Yeah.
And to be able to come here and hop on the train and go around, or know a friend of a friend that can put you on a tractor and drive
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Yes, we
And
have.
get that experience.
Yeah, several little ones out there, and yeah, they are driving around, so that's great to see. I just hope they're careful. That's
Yeah.
it's
Some
like,
of them's driving a little
okay,
too fast.
Yeah.
But it's
speed
great that
limit
they're
signs up.
on little lawn and garden tractors, and that they're they're interested. So
having a
just to
good
keep
time.
them that
Yeah.
way, but that's what it's all about, And every penny that we get, we put it right back into the grounds.
And it's all 100%
keep it
donation.
going. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Donation and
Yes.
a lot of you got Sidwell and Three Rivers. A lot
Yes.
of
Yeah, we got lots of local
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 businesses,
businesses.
that,
And
yes,
individuals
help us.
themselves.
So, yes.
Yep.
donate to us.
Yep.
And their time. I've got lots of them that do come over, help, and so it's great. Yeah, I'm glad that they appreciate it also, and
Yeah.
see value what we're trying to do, and they are helping us. Yeah, it wouldn't be without all of our local donors and each participant and their time and help. Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah, 'cause,
I can't think of enough.
This isn't a club, where you
No.
have a group of members.
Yeah.
This is your guys' property, and your family, with the help of some friends, put all this together. And, I mean, that's a huge undertaking. I was talking to Kenny earlier, and like, you wore out yet? And he goes, I was wore out like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
We were out last week.
Yeah.
I was.
And
Me too.
I know, probably a month before time you start getting this ready, and
I was gonna say, yeah. To me, it's an all-year thing. The only time I take time off, unfortunately, they're the labor.
yeah,
I don't do. I clean this, so that's a big project. The barn
Hey,
is
this
a big
needs done, that
project.
needs done.
But I'm saying do this, do that. I wish I could do more, but the average, doing the free ads and everything.
Yeah.
It's just me. I usually take a break after I get the Christmas cards out. So
Yeah.
it's like, because then after this, I do. Me and my sister, she's the picture taker, so
Yep.
we'll design a Christmas card and the thank you card.
Oh, yeah.
And so after Christmas, I'll take a break for about a month and a half, and then after that, I don't know. I tell people I'm 24/7, 365, thinking about each show.
Right.
And I don't know. I think I'm like my dad.
Is there anything you guys want to add to the show?
Well, we always want to add.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's got to be something. Okay, we want to set a sawmill. Well, you guys got a sawmill already,
Yeah.
but
Yes,
Well,
that's my big
that's our-
project. I've
That's
been
been on our
them.
list to get done.
Right.
I've got a
Operating.
list like this.
I can imagine.
But
Yeah.
the project, I told them I would like to get the sawmill done and the building for it.
We want to get a roof built over
yeah.
our
So
trussles
it's-
so we can put the engine and
Right.
yeah.
To keep
two
it
engines
protected.
underneath
It's
to help
just two.
save them from the weather.
Yeah. So that's my big project that I would like to
So,
get done in the next year. And
We'll get the bottom of the mill concreted next year for sure.
yeah, that too. My son, he's in charge of the silage, and he did a great job this year. And he would like a real silage, corn crib or whatever.
We got a
and,
corn crib. We just ain't put it together.
yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
that one. So we got
Okay.
a corn crib. We'll have
So-
hopefully together, and then
Yeah, because I'm up at the Nether's farm.
we'd blow into
blew
the
it
old
into
silo.
blew it into the
Yes,
silo.
yeah. So he.
Which I remember that was the first time that I'd ever seen silage being blown, was up there. He was doing it at the show, and I was
Yeah.
like,
So he
"The heck
got
are they doing?"
creative, and it's neat. So he was back there, and I think I've seen the littlest kid do it. His grandpa lifted him up, so he was probably only 2, but he
Yeah.
got to put the corn shock in, and so his little eyes, it's like, what? And then when it blew out, and so, but yeah, that's set up. So it is. It's
The corn
awesome. And
shellers,
Andy
the kids
Crawford,
like where they throw the ears
Yeah.
of corn in. It comes up showing corn.
Andy
We give them a little
Crawford's got
bag of corn
his
to take home.
set
Yeah.
up, and so it's great. And like I said, all of them are. He got his son-in-law interested in it, so it's just nice how they, everybody's just catching on.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's
Catching on to that old stuff.
as we've been sitting in here, I mean, all it has been is kids
Nonstop up and
nonstop up and down, and
A constant
and
flow of
down.
traffic.
yeah,
Yes.
and there's everybody's got a child with them, and
Yeah.
this is one of the unique shows that the populace here is children,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you don't you go to a normal tractor show and it's a bunch of old men
Yeah.
and their wives that were drug along.
Tagging along.
Yeah, and here it's a completely different story because it's just kids
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's
Yeah. It's about the
Tier
kids.
2
And,
children and
Yeah.
right.
And it definitely is because
Yeah.
you've got a mountain of tires, a pyramid of tires
Oh,
that people
yes, the
climb
play
on,
area.
and the corn pit and
My
slides. And,
sisters and
yeah, my nieces, gosh,
come up with something different each year
every
for
year, yeah.
decorations.
Yeah.
And
last year we
things
had a
to
little
add.
camper, and this year she's got the Wizard of Oz, and she
Yeah.
dressed each little scarecrow with the characters, and then I said, well, hey, I have these hay bales, and she came up with a tractor, and I said, you know what, I've got real wheels. I just went down to Dad's shed, and it's like I was looking, and you don't never know what you're going to find in there, and it's
Yeah.
like, so, unfortunately the kids can't play on that item, but next year we might have a real tractor that made out of the hay, and
Yeah.
they can play with. But yeah, my nieces and nephews, and even my great nieces and nephews, they've been great and have imaginations, and I hope they're learning, and they're what's going to continue.
Hopefully
How-
they'll
how many-
continue
vision.
after we're gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many generations are there? Kenny was the establisher. You guys, that was first generation. You guys are second generation. You got
My nieces,
kids.
so it'd be the fourth.
You got 4 generations of family
Yeah.
here putting this show on.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So yeah, the mom's still around, so she's out there somewhere. It's a miracle she didn't come in. But yeah, so it's mom and I don't even know. I've lost count of how many kids and grandparents. Yeah, I don't know. There's over probably 50 of us, I would say.
Really?
Yeah. So,
but
yeah.
it takes a small army to put this on. So.
Yes.
You got food here. You got
Yep. we got
entertainment.
food
You can
trucks,
hear
yes.
in the background some bluegrass music, which sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah. And we
And we
always-
have a different band each year. Tonight we're fortunate to have local Brian Lewis,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
is
Great.
well known in there.
Great
And
country singer.
Yes,
Country
he
singer.
is.
So Brian Lewis will be
So
here
he'll
this
be here.
evening.
Are you doing the hog roast tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna have
5:30.
about
5:30?
5:36. Hopefully it'll be ready to roll. So
Yeah.
yeah, we always just ask anybody wants to come out. We just ask for additional donation.
Yeah.
We're still don't have a set fee, so it's their generous donations
Yeah.
that help us out, and it's just an extra event, and it's fun.
So tell me
Even though
how-
I'm really tired, but it's fun.
Tell me about the process of moving this building.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
You guys moved it from Dresden
yeah.
to its current location. It's on a new foundation with some nice steel I-beams underneath of it. How in the world did you guys move this?
We tore it all down
Piece,
piece by
yeah.
piece.
Piece by
Just
piece.
like it was
Yes.
built, and only they deconstructed. They had a whole crew that I don't know
Yeah.
what we spent, but it was that's the whole nother
Yeah.
subject. I don't know
But
how
it was
many
well
months,
worth
but
it. But yes, it
Frank-
did.
Contractor that Dad grew up with in Kilbuck,
Okay.
building contractor, I'll say. His crew, his boys, and some hired help. Dad, a couple friends.
Even my son, he was only 4.
Even Gage, her
That's the little
Yeah.
Bob the Builder that was there. He had his little construction hat every day.
Dad would-
and
he gave
he'd
us
get
this
on the
little-
tractor and
take you down
so,
to Dresden. Used
Yeah.
to be, basically this used to be
what was it on?
the old Bright Hops across
Yeah.
from the post office.
Post
Yeah.
office, now the
Dresden,
empty lot.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where we took
I
it
remember
down
when
at.
it was there. I remember how rough a
Yeah.
shape it was in.
The
on
roof
that,
was
too.
getting in
Yeah.
bad shape, so the building was going to heck. So
Yeah.
Dad got
He
a
just
bottle
wanted
off
to get
George
rid of it.
Hellboy.
Because I think it was that the fire
Yeah,
department
they
was
was
going to
ready
burn
to
it
burn
down.
it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, which would have been terrible. Because
Oh, yeah.
all these beams, we saved them. They're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
original.
Wow.
We got new floors and some
Yeah.
new
Right.
joists, but even
Windows,
most
but-
of the floor joists are still the old original beams.
Yeah.
Yes.
We put new decking boards on it, new roof, but all the
Yeah.
beams and ties.
Yep,
I think
it
we
was still
added
the
some
same.
ties, but it's pretty much this is how it
Your
was.
basement, 3
We added
floors.
basement.
So,
And,
yeah.
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 It is
And-
absolutely unreal.
But it was, I don't know, probably
Yeah, the
what?
sign behind us came out of it, so that was the wall. And yeah, so our evening event now is called Jollification. They
Yeah,
had
they
a
found that
100-year
covered in the
Jollification event. So, but yeah, that was on the wall.
And that's dated
actual in there.
1880.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know when this was built originally?
Somewhere in his,
I
probably
think
1880, I believe.
Okay, so that may have
About the
been.
1800s, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when it was still across from the post office, and going there with
Going in.
yeah,
Going in the building, going to the little hardware store.
yep, go to the hardware and go to the post office and
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's amazing
Yeah.
that he saved it, and it,
Yeah.
and it didn't get burnt down.
Yeah.
And there's not many people nowadays that are taking this sort of undertaking to do something like that.
That's a ton of work.
Well, it's a ton
How
of work.
many years did it take to? I mean, he started in 2003, tearing it down.
I think it's about 2005 before we had it under the roof here.
Yeah.
Really? So
quick.
about 2 years then.
2004,
Yeah,
early 5.
Yeah, the process went quicker than what you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they.
That's
Yeah,
what it's
they
called.
had it tore down in a pretty good time. Then they spent some time redoing some
Right.
of the
Yeah.
beams and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Going up was a lot longer, but it's probably over a year putting it back up.
yeah. Well, when you go putting it back up, you find things that you want to
Right.
fix and replace and this and that.
Yeah.
So I understand that because I've moved a couple buildings to our property and put oil well displays in them from like the
neat.
20s. Now they're nothing on this scale, but I still
Work.
Yeah, it's work.
It's,
And I-
it's more than you.
if I didn't have a
realize.
mini excavator at my disposal, it'd be a lot more work because I can tell you I've used that thing quite a bit
Yeah.
moving stuff around. So
And yeah, I mean, yeah, we were lucky.
Just
that
like,
had,
as far
had all
as-
the equipment.
He bought that old Bantam crane out there originally. He
Yeah.
thought he'd use that himself, tear it down and remove some of the structure himself, but it didn't lift high enough. So ended up having Skurlocks bring their big crane in, and
Yep.
and then we used Ronnie's crane to set it.
Yeah.
To rebuild this building.
and having Ronnie close by and him having
that's
Yeah.
lifesaver.
I mean, he loves he loves just being out there all day.
Oh.
He's in
He's
heaven.
he's just a little kid right now.
Yes, yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're all kids at heart.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
how can people find you? I know you have a Facebook page.
Yes, we do have a Facebook page, Education of Yesterday.
Okay.
Probably that's the main thing. If not, they can always call. Phone number 740-754-6248. If we don't answer, just leave a message and I'll call them back. Email is educationofyesterday@gmail.com. I'm hoping to start a website, but I'm just not
Websites are a
that-
pain in the ass.
It's
The
like
worst.
one of my nieces and nephews,
We
or
just
even
don't have
great
enough
nieces.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a whole
That's
nother
a
project.
hard-
It's just
yeah.
like what you're doing. It's good. It's great, but I don't have the time to do what you're doing.
I don't have the
I
time
don't have
either.
the knowledge.
I know you're making time.
Yeah.
but
Yes,
it's
You know,
good.
but if there's
and we appreciate what you're doing.
it's
because-
it's something if you believe in it, the same as like
because
what
I've
you guys are
watched some of
doing.
your videos.
Yeah,
your
if I
past and they're great. And it's
I
great
work
that you-
I work full time, and when I have time to do it, I sometimes have to force myself to go out in the garage and like I got other things I need to do. I got a leak in the basement I should fix. But I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on it and go out in the garage and do something that
Yeah.
Yeah.
he can relate.
Yeah.
So
100% relatable.
if for anybody that's listening or watching this on Facebook, Education of Yesteryear, or you have Country Yesterday, Education of Yesterday, and then Country Crossroads. Is that you also have that?
It's probably
Education of Yesterday is the better one to go to.
Education of Yesterday is going to get you there.
Okay.
I know it does start with Country Crossroads,
Yeah.
Education of Yesterday, but I know where, like, if you Googled it or whatever, just put facebook.com/Education of Yesterday, it's going to take you right to the Country Crossroads
Absolutely.
Education of
And I'll add a link in the
Yeah.
description when I post
Yeah.
this on the websites that I post everything
Yeah,
to
that would
a
be
link
great.
to it and any contact information that there is. And
Tell me about this little 100 self-propelled toy.
Oh,
This thing is, we had a 100 self-propelled in actual combine years ago. Yeah. I mean, we farmed with it.
Yeah.
That's when I was younger, but I love this little thing. Who built this? I mean,
It was built by some Mennonites over in Shipsawana, Indiana.
okay.
I bought it at a toy auction.
Right.
My bad decision moments. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it's a bad decision
it's
or not.
Good, but yeah, I got more money in that than I but you could buy a real one for a problem.
Well, that's okay. That's a lot
You know
easier
how
to
we are
handle,
with
and
their toys.
Yeah.
that's a lot easier to handle and store than the real one is.
Yeah.
Well, that's
right,
true.
that's for
That
sure.
one is, yeah.
We got now our All Crop 66 is still stored up at Marlin and my uncle's because we don't have room for it here.
Right.
And I just Grandpa Moore had an old the Massey Harris self-propel picker.
Right.
Which is our first year for here at the show. I bought, Granddad had one.
I'd like to find an Alice Chalmers 40 pull type.
Yeah.
That'd be like my little.
We've got a little one out there. It's rough. I'd like to get it restored.
Right.
Well, a new project for you and your son.
Oh yeah. You need to come over to my house and see the project list, just like yours.
Yes, yep. Never
Looks like a receipt from the Dollar General.
I think
mark one off and you add a couple more.
Oh yeah.
all of us here have the same problem where we have too many ideas and not enough time to accomplish them.
Yes,
Yeah.
very true.
Because, like you said, you think about this 24/7, and when you think about that, you're like, oh, well, this would be neat to do, this would be neat to do, and
I didn't sleep much last night. I was
Yeah.
just laying in bed. We got to do this. We got to do this.
Yes.
well, and you don't sleep until it's done, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a sigh of relief when the show's over and you're like, oh, okay, everything went smooth, and
Yeah.
Put it away.
Yeah. Then we got to go put it away.
Then you gotta go-
So,
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
But
Setting up's
after
one
that,
thing,
we
tearing
do
down's
get a-
another.
Yeah.
I said I would relax after maybe tomorrow around noon.
yeah,
That's when I'll go.
it's on the downhill slide after that.
Yes,
So.
Yeah.
Not much you can do.
Yeah, whatever's going to happen, it's
I
here
know,
now.
yeah.
So whatever's going to
But,
happen is
hey,
going to
the
happen.
weather's
Yep, the
great
weather,
today.
weather's
weather has
what
held
it
out
is,
today
and
for you guys.
It's been
Yeah.
great today.
Oh yeah.
So
I was worried at the beginning of the week that it was going to be a
Yes.
rainy Saturday.
Me too. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, you just
Hopefully
can't control the
tomorrow
weather. I
will be
mean,
good.
it is what it
We'll be here
is.
tomorrow, so hopefully. Yes.
Yep.
Check
We
us
thank
out.
you for doing this.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well, we're at,
We're at 40 some minutes, but we like to get the word out on places like this. You know, that tries to keep things going.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to, like I said, that's what we try to push. You know,
Yes.
that's our goal.
Yes.
I plan on coming back next year. I'm gonna bring the wife and kid and a couple displays, and I think we're just gonna have good. You know,
Yep.
yeah, we're just gonna.
Great.
Have a great time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Yep.
you.
Like you said, you can bring a camper and set up and stay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we have
there's some
plenty
room out there. I mean, bring a generator, of course, or whatever.
Yes, we are
of
creative.
primitive camping.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just
But,
fine.
Hey, yeah.
Yep.
Basically, the camper would be for nap time. You know,
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
whether it's the boy or myself, I'm not real sure, but.
Oh, goodness,
I think all of us could take a nap right now.
But we appreciate you guys taking the time and sitting down with us and explaining your show, and it's just a great event, a really great event.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you also. So.
Yep.
it's
And then,
good about you.
like I said, I'm going to go through and for my YouTube channel, go around and just kind of show everything that this place has to offer. And for anybody that listens to the podcast, I'll link the video whenever I get it done to the podcast so you can hear some of the stuff that we're talking about, like the railroad and the digger, the construction area, all the tractors, the pulling tractors. I mean, I could keep
Get
going
to
on
see
and on and
everything.
on.
I know.
That's
And
here.
it's like, what did I miss?
Yeah.
There's just so much.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
I know when I talk, it's like, okay, what do you? And it's like, oh gosh, my brain's just there's so much. So,
Yeah, I hope when
yes.
I do the video, I hope that I can do it justice because I mean there
Yeah.
is so much here, and I've been coming here so long, and I know what to look for. So
Yes.
but yeah, I'll have that out, and hopefully you can share it on
Oh
your
yes, I
Facebook
will
page.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes.
use it however you want. I heard a guy that was talking about having drone footage
Yes.
too, so
Yeah,
that would be
for
great.
Sure. That would be great.
I might try to
So,
track him
appreciate
down and see if he could
Yeah.
share that with me. So I
Now,
can put that.
Oh, yeah.
Kendra's got his
You got his info?
He can
Yes,
give
I
it
do
to
have
you.
his info.
Yeah,
yes.
some drone footage would be.
That'd be
Yeah,
really
drone
cool.
That would be
Yeah.
nice.
Great.
Yeah.
To give, I mean, just to give. I got John Graham that flies
Yeah, I
over.
got a
Yes.
couple pictures John posted
Yeah.
already from
You guys had a flyover of U.S. military Black Hawk a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
kind of
really?
cool. Yeah.
Oh, I
Sweet.
missed
I
that.
didn't see
Yeah, you
that.
see that?
Okay, Murphy.
No.
It was awesome. I thought it was cool.
No, darn it. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
I must have been busy messing with the
Johnny's
customer.
pretty good most years flying around, getting
Yeah.
a few shots each year.
Oh yeah, you always know he.
But the drone footage is, what we need. That'd
Yeah.
be great to have.
Yeah, that was nice of that guy to come in.
Yes.
and,
Oh, great.
and
Yeah.
do
but
that.
no,
Yeah, I'll have to.
yes,
Whenever you
get
get
with
that
you.
from him, I'd like
Yeah, I will for sure.
use
So
that,
would be
so.
great.
Well, Dresden, Ohio, this is where it's at. Third weekend in October.
Correct.
Yes, 3685 Cast Iron Ridge Road, intersection of State Route 16. Yes.
Can't
Don't
miss
forget.
it. It's huge.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can't miss the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you come in on the 4-lane on
Oh, this year
16.
with the 16 getting closed eastbound, it helps because people got to get off
They got to
and slow
stop
down
and
Yeah.
they can look and say, "Hey, we're going over
Hey,
there. What's happening?"
take a
Yeah, when
break.
they're taking
They
the
can
exit.
just leave State Route 16 closed the
going
other
on
way.
there?
Every October, just close the other side.
Yeah.
So each year we keep, it's like I've talked to some people here. There was one guy who was from Gahanna, That's the way Timmy travels 16 and he's seen that big band, the band
Yeah.
out there. Then they had to
Now-
slow down, come this way.
Who's the furthest person you get to come? That comes, the furthest
We've got
drive.
people from out of state.
Well, there's a guy here from Minnesota here right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got,
with the Gravely Club.
The Gravely
Okay.
Club,
Yeah, but it's because he moved.
Michigan.
He was in West Virginia
Right.
and he moved to Minnesota.
Okay.
So he comes 16 hours, yeah.
Right,
So he's probably the farthest.
Yeah.
right.
So we've got people up by the lake, the one club out there come down.
Oh yeah, the,
You got some guys out here from West Virginia with the model
Yeah.
gas engines.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the name of that club.
Yeah, Kirkland. or something.
Yeah.
It's from Kirkland.
Kirkland.
Yes, the historical.
And we've got the Coshocton
terrible.
group.
the Coshocton Antique Power Association.
So you're drawing from several states here.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We draw.
Yeah.
We had a lady call the other day. I don't know if she made it. From Kentucky that called, wanted information.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
That's
we're
good.
reaching out, and then some of the toy shows I do, like it's like Louisville, Kentucky. We set up down there, so I take flyers and promote. So maybe that's where she may have got a flyer.
You go to the Greenville Toy Show?
I used 2 years ago.
Okay, that's one of my favorite toy shows.
Yeah, that's it. And the Fremont
Okay.
Ohio show was probably 2 of the best Ohio
Right,
shows.
right.
I was going to ask if you still did the toys, and
It's went down.
it's
The
went
younger
down.
generations into 3D stuff instead of the cast.
yeah.
That's a whole nother subject.
I 20 years ago when I found out that you were, or well, 20 plus years ago,
Yeah.
found out that was going on, and taking, I think one that I remember, he's taking a little Dodge pickup and putting a little flatbed on it, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Flatbeds, that's it. And
That's
our
cool.
3-point hitches are number 1 sellers.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, still doing
Thousands and thousands of them. Things.
yeah,
Still going.
that's amazing.
It's a niche market.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You find something you can run with, and then it becomes a job.
that. Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Well, it's been great.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. You
Yep.
know, I know what it is to get away from the show, and
We'll let you guys get back at it, and don't want
So-
to hold you up too
Yeah.
much.
I appreciate you
Right,
talking
thank
and,
you. It's
and talking
great.
about the show and how it started and what you want to do
Continue
here.
in the future.
Yes.
Continuing
Yes.
and I'll do
20 next year.
Yeah.
yeah 20 years.
It'll be 20 next year, so yeah.
Time
So we're
flies
gonna
by.
continue on
yeah. So
for as long as we can.
I'll do my part and try to promote
Absolutely.
on my avenues that I have, and hopefully the 20 year can be something maybe too big for you. I
Yeah.
don't know.
There you go. Well, we can only hope.
Yeah. So obviously you got
See
one.
what
You got
we-
him will be coming back.
Yeah,
so-
well,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
See
Definitely.
what we can come up with for our 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But whatever you put out there, I follow the Facebook page and I share as much of it as I can to.
Yes. Same here. I've been sharing
Yeah.
yours because yours are great.
Thank you.
project, too, so I appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So, well, like we said,
Yeah.
we'll let you get back to the show, and
This is the Should Run With Gas podcast. You can
yeah, Should Run with Gas podcast. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify, and maybe at some point
like
I'll
and share, and
put it on some other platforms.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it and share
if
it.
you got the Spotify, join up with us or something. We're trying to get the numbers up on Spotify a little bit.
Yeah, Spotify is low, which might be because I haven't posted all the podcasts on there yet.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Because
There-
I've been slacking.
'cause there
but,
was a guy I was talking to yesterday from BC, which I thought was England or something, but it's Canada.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said,
Oh, goodness.
find us on YouTube and Spotify, Facebook for these guys.
Yes.
And as always, go out and get your hands dirty.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
you.